Welcome to Black Men Speak. I'm your co-host, Jimmy Stewart.
And I'm Tommy Duncan. Welcome, everyone.
And today we're finishing, this is part 2 of our episode, or discussion on what women say they want in a man. So we have our guests, Hope and Charlotte. Ladies, quick say hi to our YouTube channel.
Hope Angela Hart from Dallas, Texas.
Charlotte Thompson from Dallas, Texas.
And we're going to continue the conversation we had in part 1 of this discussion. So ladies, let's not waste any more time. Let's just jump right back in, because during the break we had some interesting discussion, and let's just kind of pick up from there. So let's talk about security, and let's talk about communication real quick. So let's start with security. That could be financial, that could be physical.
Are they relevant? I mean,
yes.
Because kind of in the first segment, we talked about a couple of things in terms of being more flexible in terms of models and what you do in the household and or in a relationship. We talked about, kind of one other big in, each of you guys' laundry list of things. But if we get past those top 2, what are some other things? I mean,
just how much money does he have to make? Let's just get to that.
I'm not big on that. What I was going to say about security was, I was going to say good decision-making skills.
Okay, how about FICO score?
And stability.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
Why not that?
How about FICO score? Give me a number.
That's security.
I'm saying.
Okay, good decisions,
Even if
good credit, so good FICO score.
Because I've seen people that have a lot of money, but they don't spend it well.
Right.
They don't have a budget. They are conspicuous consumption. So that's what I say. It's not as much stability for me, but it's how you decide.
And then we have a high debt to income ratio.
I've seen a 35-year-old man who will get down to his last $5 3 days before his check comes. And I'm saying no man should should go without $20 in their pocket. And I couldn't believe that a grown man would ever let himself run out of money. So I'm saying they would take a risk like that. So that's, to me, decision-making skills.
Big red flag.
Yeah, big red flag.
But once again, a good credit score would really encompass savings, making good decisions about financial matters, and not necessarily income. You can have very low income and have great credit, but generally good credit, with a good credit score goes hand in hand with good decision making.
I find that unrealistic.
But my question is,
in this real capitalistic society, as many things that black people have to go through, I wouldn't go by credit scores.
When you say decision making, what does that mean to you?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like the thing about a man should always have some money in their pocket.
Okay.
You should say, no, I don't need, or like I know men that pay child support. Mm-hmm. They never buy new clothes. I noticed that. I said, and I like that. I said, these are guys that say, I put all my money in my children. When my kids are 18, I'll be able to buy some new clothes. But right now, I wear what I can. I'm paying child support because I'm saying they know the priorities. Food, shelter, and clothing is your first priority. Having cable. I know people that have cable, but then their car's repoed. You don't have to have cable. So I'm saying that kind of old school mindset that necessities come first. I meet so many men who are ghetto, what I call ghetto fabulous. They have cable, they have a nice watch and all that, but then their foundation is not there.
Well, they live in a nice car, but then live in a crummy house.
Okay, well, I kind of think it goes back with me. I think she's doing great there. It's just, for me, an initial conversation when I meet guys, I don't have to go that deep. I can meet a man and I've had friends because I am a financial professional. On some levels, I know you can give me your financials and I can read your income statement. But you have to realize there are some things you can tell me you have this car, 2 houses, and so and so, but you have no disposable income, so you still can't take me out. Yes, you have both a house, a car, yeah, really. And all I'm thinking about is like, okay, yeah, well, if I want to go on a trip, you have insurance to pay, you have 2 kids to pay for, you have to get upkeep on those 3 houses.
So what is it that you would be looking for on that end? I mean, yours is a little bit different than yours,
yes.
So I think I get.
Again, it goes back to earlier when I talked about the experience. Are you going to have some funds for us to have the experience in general? Because I do want you to be able to take care of those necessities.
Right.
It's a given that, as I said, being financially stable, that's a given that you should in turn know how to take care of house and home. After that, we go out on a date or a few dates I'd like you to be able to afford that and still have your house at
That's a
home.
very
So if I'm
important.
getting this correctly, for you, it's a matter of prioritization in terms of your decision making. Not that you have to have a lot of money, but you're being responsible. You may not have a lot of money. You may have gone through an expensive divorce, something like that. You may be taking care of you. On yours, okay, let's kind of start measuring your disposable income and what we're going to be able to do with that.
Exactly.
Okay.
You know, I enjoy life, and I like doing different things. Unfortunately, that takes money. Now, a lot, we were rock climbing. It might have cost $50, you know, or $100, but maybe for someone else, they can only afford $5 for the movies. So, therefore, I'm not upset with
Your
that.
experience is going to be different based on.
So $5 movie guy, he got to go.
No, you don't have to go, but no.
You can bring some other things to the table to offset
See,
that.
I've dated from the CEO to the mechanic, and I'm more of a romantic. You know, I'm more into what their values are, and I don't care if they have a lot of money. Their values and having an experience, it could just be him cooking and us looking at a movie, but what his value system is, sense of humor and stuff like that.
And I think that's one form of those soft skills. But see, for me, I guess I'm just a little different. You know what? I need all of that. You know, of course, I need you to have good character. I need you to have a sense of humor. I need you to turn care for me and be attentive. But I also, you know what? Hey, I want to go to New York next week, and can we go? Well, my friends they're getting married, and we're going to go here. Can we go? Well, all of it, one full ticket in the world. Because those tickets cost X amount.
Right.
I'm hoping you can be able to afford X amount. Even if you can't, I'm fine. I'll just go by myself. But let's kind of get this understanding now, so you understand that either I'm gonna go with or without you because I'm independent. You know.
So a dollar amount is not important. You don't
Yeah,
say
it's not necessarily-
you have to make
yeah.
at least 6 figures or
Yes.
100,000 or
No,
200,000.
that's not realistic. And then I have dated the CEO, the person, but they've been a jerk.
Yeah, true.
So that's what I'm saying. It's hard. I kind of have felt like I don't need to look at that, you know, number figure, because I want a good person, a pure person in their heart. And it doesn't, I can be just as happy not being able to go to New York, even though I love to go.
Yes.
If I have a person that I'm happy with, I'm in love with, you know, so I'm more of a romantic type of person that says that, you know, love doesn't equal money to me at all. I can have a low income love affair and be very happy, and maybe we can work up to going to New York later.
So put you guys on the spot now. What about the situation where you're involved with someone that's getting kind of serious, and it looks like there may be some potential here, and he says, I believe if we take the next step together, either moving together, get married, that we should live off one income. And so that may mean we have to maybe cut back, make some sacrifices. We can't do all the things we're doing now, but it will allow us to rapidly build wealth, to be able to get into a starter home, maybe trade up a couple of years, pay down debt rapidly and keep trading up. And then in 7 years, you can have the dream home, your dream car, and financial security if you're just willing to stick to the plan, versus two of us make a lot of money right now, and we can go out and buy that $800,000 dream house right now today, be up to our necks in debt, but we can have it all right now. So what is do you do the 7 to 10 year plan to get to where you want, or do you get it all right now because you can?
Well, again, mine goes back to disposable income. We make good money together, and buying a huge house, that means we have no money to go to New York.
Right.
But you have a big house.
Really, I don't
Keeping
know
up,
about that. We're
keeping
keeping
up
up.
with the Joneses.
Yeah, and see, to me, that's what I'm saying, that keeping up with the Joneses to the extent where you're looking, no. I'm totally with not keeping up with the Joneses, because when you're keeping up with the Joneses, you're not being happy within yourself. So it goes back to her, I'm not as much as a romantic as she is, but when it comes to, I want to in turn enjoy life and live life on my own terms.
Okay, and if he says my paycheck is what we'll live off of, we'll just save yours, pay down debt, build wealth, and the house that we can afford on my paycheck is smaller than your current house than you were living in when you were single. Are you willing to downsize in order to move up?
Just depends on how small.
Oh,
I'm just saying, like,
I am.
okay, like, is it like one room or like, okay, I got 5 and then we're going to 3?
See,
Or
I talked about flexibility in the last segment.
yeah,
I am.
I'm to the point of the flexibility.
I'm not comfortable Oklahoma, yours is larger and nicer.
It's no
better
good, man.
neighborhood.
It's just different.
Well, then
It's
yes,
just
okay, I could do that. If it's just, again, let's kind of look at it first.
You know, maybe
make
you're
sure-
talking West Plano versus East Plano.
Okay, yeah, yes. I guess I could do that.
Okay?
If it's the right guy.
This is right.
Yeah, if it's the right guy, to be honest with you, if it's the right guy, then I'm totally fine with that.
Let me ask you this, and maybe I came up on something there. So, all these things being considered, you know, you may have a list of 8, you may have a list of 15. There's some folks who probably have a list of 20 different things. You've both been married, you've both been through different experiences. How do you determine all these things you're looking for when you think it's the right guy?
Well, that's something I've been praying about recently, because I'm wanting to have that same nostalgia, that same feeling that I had when I was 25. And maybe it's not realistic that at my older age that I should be looking for that. But sometimes I just have an innate, unexplainable feeling that this is the guy, or butterflies in your stomach, I guess you call it. But maybe, most people have a checklist now, and they don't really go with the romantic side. But, it's a comfortable feeling, just feeling natural with that person, not being able to be myself, and also, so I have, children, them being comfortable with my children, that kind of thing would make me know it's the right guy. And sometimes I've had people that on paper seem like the right guy. I was dating an engineer in DC. He seemed like the right guy, but I just knew something was not right.
Something was off.
Something was off, and so on paper they look perfect, but in realistically, they're not, or they don't have enough time for you. Or
So all of the metrics were there, but the feelings weren't there, or was it something different?
Feelings were probably there
It
too.
No, it was feelings, and that the way his thinking was too type A, as far as like, I can come visit you when this has happened, when this has happened,
So just too
then I can
rigid.
come visit you then, but when my son finishes his exam, but not before this, and saying if he has that type of
Regimented, very
mindset,
regimented.
then
And
it's
you all
not
were
gonna-
married, so.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. What about you, Sean? What?
I'm just not sure about that. Like I said, I've dated, as you say, some guys, but they've been pretty high level and they've been jerks. And they provided quite a bit of the checklist, but they have not been the best people. Goes back to my spiritual and foundational side, but I have to ask God about those things. Because I do pray about those things to say, God, this guy has all these things. Why don't I like him or love him? And he has all these things I prayed about. Then I have this other guy over here, poor guy, he doesn't have those things. And I have feelings for him because he has such a good heart.
Right.
So, and that goes back to my romantic side, which I try to knock down, But again, when it comes to who is it at the end of the day that I know they're going to be my protector, they are going to be there for me no matter what. And it kind of goes with that, I hate to go to this old school, but can we stand the rain? When I don't look like I look, or when I don't have those things,
Right.
and when I am at my lowest, are you going to be there for me?
True, and that's important.
So.
That's very important.
I'm taking care of when I'm sick. And actually that, I had forgotten about that because I haven't been in a relationship to be sick recently, but I've seen how men reacted when I have been sick, and that is, to me, a good indicator.
Tell
I
us a
had
little bit
one
about
guy
that.
who, he ended up being my husband, but I should, when I said I was sick, he was a professor and he's really, really busy. I said I was sick, I stayed home from work. And so he came to the door and put my food on the steps and left. And he's like, I don't have time to bring your food to you, but I brought you some food.
Right.
So, but see, some guys, but also in his culture, being sick was weak. And see, there's some people that won't admit they're sick, even like with a cold,
Yeah.
that's being a weak person. So in his mindset, he didn't really ever let you know when he was sick because it was weak to be sick.
From a man's perspective, yes.
From a
So-
cultural
yeah.
Yes.
Well, so I'm saying he was only 26 at this time, so maybe he had never taken care of a woman. So I can't necessarily, because in all other ways he was a good person, but he had never taken care of a woman when she was sick at a high level relationship, level. So
You're thinking that was not a good thing what he did?
no, I'm saying he put it on the stairs downstairs. I was upstairs on the
Upstairs, sick.
second floor.
Oh.
I had a cold, so he put the food on
So
the
you guys
stairs.
were say, I thought he
Yeah.
was like.
No. I'm saying in our townhouse, he put
Okay.
the food
So you
there,
guys were
brought me
the
some stuff, he brought me some tissue, but he put it on the stairs downstairs. And I don't think it was because he didn't want to get sick. It was just that he was in a rush. So I'm saying he didn't come up and say, "Here, baby,
He could've taken
give me
extra
some
steps.
soup.
Yeah.
So-
You know, here's your tissues. Give me some.
Right.
Here's your soup." That's what I expected.
So
to be
Jimmy, let
taken
me
care
ask
of.
you this. What is your perspective on that?
My perspective is that what Hope is talking about is actually an important key, that it's important for men to feel needed, and sometimes with independent women, you guys don't generate enough need for him to stay engaged. Because he's thinking that, oh, you're capable of going down the stairs and getting it. But you know what, if you had communicated that I am so sick, I can't even get out of bed, I can't do anything, I'm almost like a baby and I'm helpless, I think he would have brought the food up at that point. And you may not have been that. I mean, and some women think that's too beneath them to, like, I gotta really come across as really pathetic to generate some need, but men want to be, they need to know that they're needed. So, and it's not easy with independent women for y'all to generate that kind of environment where you can make yourself somewhat dependent on him, or generate in his mind that he really needs to come through and take not just 5 steps to the bottom of the stairs, but go to the top, bring the food up there, bring the tissue, bring me some juice, make sure I have Theraflu in my medicine, and then go to
Well,
work.
see, I guess I expect him to treat me like I guess my mother would treat me when I
Well,
was sick.
let me ask
And
you
that
this.
goes back to assumption.
Right.
Assumption of what your expectation of what they were supposed to do.
And were you
I think
guys
that-
married at the time?
Yes.
Okay. So
Their
you guys-
expectation of what someone would do
And
me
then
sick.
that
Our
happens also, it
expectations might
drops
have
off
been
when you're
different.
married. I mean,
Yes, it
let's
does.
face
It
it,
really does.
if you were dating, he would probably,
He would've
he
done
probably would have done more while you were dating because he was trying to impress you. Married,
Okay, I
You
guess.
think so?
I mean,
Yeah.
can I go with that? To be honest with you, there is a balance, and I get this a lot from my girlfriends, where
Married or single? Just to make sure we
they're
clear.
single girlfriends.
Okay.
Where it's sometimes one guy told me, I kid you not, it was like I dropped something, like 3 guys or something, they went to pick up whatever it was. And he told me, he said, Charlotte, you have that type of way where it's like a damsel in distress. He goes, and for good or bad, men see that, and
That's
they
a very
want
good
to
thing for men.
And my girlfriends, sometimes they're, because we are all, we're blessed enough where we're educated and we have good jobs, whatever. They're independent. They're like, well, I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna act like that, Charlotte. I'm thinking, you know what? And they think that I am just like dumbing down to them because they're so independent that I'm getting, because it's like, he knows I have a cold. He doesn't come. Well, are you gonna come? Yes, baby, I'll come over. I got a soup, and I'm at Panera Bread right now. What kind you want? Tomato basil, and I got you, and I'll be there. Cool. He gets there, but what women don't realize is that's one of the things I like. You're being protected to make sure I'm okay, and therefore you're in turn take care of your queen for me to make sure that I'm gonna take care of my king. And people don't do this enough.
Yeah,
And
I
you're
agree.
balancing it so much, as you're saying, you're so independent that the assumption is, oh, she can go get it. It's soup, here's some tissue, she'll be fine, go downstairs. That's because they feel like we're so independent that we don't need to be coddled anymore. But really, we're wishing only if you would do those things. So, and that's why it goes back to letting the man order for me or whatever. I'm letting him be a man, even though I know, baby, I have you if we're together and we both make good money. I got you, because to me, my job is to be the support. And I'm going to support him if he has been doing what he's supposed to do, based on my top 10 things,
And on top of that, just pigtailing what you're saying, there's nothing wrong with letting the guy know when he's not living up to your expectations. When you can say to him, look, you went and bought the big screen TV, and that's nice, and we all like to watch it, but there are more pressing needs around here. And so we're not going to die because you bought the TV, but I just want to let you know that you've disappointed me in your decision making. And I expect more from you in the future to do better. So you don't have to get on his back and make it such a big
Now, she may not do it say it like that.
But I'm saying,
she say it like that.
But I'm saying, if you make it
Well,
a big negative,
Yes.
when you box the thing up and take it back to Best Buy, and now he's pissed off, you're
Yes.
pissed off, so there's no good to come out of that.
Yes.
What I'm saying is just take the experience. Every now and then, we're going to make bad decisions. And when it happens, don't beat us over the head to the point where I knew I should let you have the checkbook control and finance, because these kind of stupid things. Mama told me that this was going to happen. My girlfriends told me that you were going to do something like this one day, and the prophecies come true. All I'm saying is that make it a teachable moment to say, look, it's there, fine, we're going to live with it.
Jimmy, however, is that what you're saying?
I'm saying that's
no. My question to you, in terms of what you just said, you should. Are you saying that's how they should or should not approach it?
That's what I'm saying. They should approach it.
That's the way they should approach it.
To make it a teachable moment.
To hit them on top of the head.
Not to hit them on top of the head. To just say, look, your decision making was not great here. It was okay.
And that's the way
Most men are not good at that. Would be confrontational. It takes a strong man to be able to take that. Especially younger men are sometimes insecure already.
Yes.
So that would be seen as very
If
confrontational.
you say the decision making was bad, it's confrontational. If you say that it wasn't the greatest decision, okay, that blows a little less now. And it's okay, we're going to live with it, so TV stays. But I expect you to make better decisions in the future. You're not hitting them over the head.
See, that's going to sound like a mama.
You
sound like your
whole.
father. My father talking to me about what I did wrong when he's like, sweetie, I love you and we're going to deal with that. But in the future, I would expect you to make better decisions.
Right.
Yes, Daddy, I will try to do better.
And the reason you're not going to get into a fight about it, because one, you just let them know we're not going to fight about this. I mean, you didn't do anything wrong, you just make a great decision. So
The only concern I have about.
Let me say one last piece, Tom. But then the other piece of that is that you're there to provide counsel and judgment and observe what he's doing. There has to be some kind of QA process in this, that you're the head of our family. Now, we're going to follow you, I'm following you, the kids are following you, our whole life is in your hands. So you have to make good decisions if I'm going to put my trust in you and follow you. So I have to be able to tell you when you made a good decision, when you made a mediocre decision, or when you made a bad decision. But I still expect you to learn from this and get better in the future. So that's not being approached.
I would love a man that would take that.
I would take that.
I would say I would agree. I would agree with you, because I think that, and part of it is Jimmy's type A masculinity coming off from a woman's perspective. Typically, a guy is it's like you're slitting him with a razor. If you're communicating in that way. And so what? Because that's just men. When it relate, they could probably take that from a man, but taking that from a woman, and much less their woman, they're feeling that the woman is demasculating and or really telling him that he's no good and he doesn't know how to make decisions.
Okay, but you're right though. But the question is, there is a right. Is not a negative, and then you make sure you blanket that with love, because like I said, our union is If you're our leader of this group, we're all putting our trust in you. Right. When we see you make a bonehead decision, we can hit you over the head with it, make you feel bad.
Sean telling her man that you making a bonehead decision.
No, she's not telling me. She's just telling me that she didn't make a great decision.
Well,
that's one of those managerial. You're just rewording it for a managerial type of thing. That's not going to go. Yes, that's not going to go over. The man is going to go in the cave. He's going to go in there, or he's going to say, "I have to go get a drink. I'm leaving for a little while. I can't believe you talking to me like that."
You know why he's not going to go in the cave and do all that? Because you're going to blanket that with, as you're telling him, you're going to be holding his hand, you're going to be looking in his eyes, you're going to be rubbing him, and you're going to reward him.
So what you're trying to say, Jimmy, is she's not going to say it particularly the way you just said it.
I'm saying she can say it exactly that way.
No, I'm going to disagree, because I'm going to say that, he may have just went out and spent $3,000. He may have just went out and spent $3,000 on a thing when y'all are talking about a vacation trip this summer, which is very important to you. And so he comes home, look, baby, look what I just got. Just got the football game on. And you're about to fume. You're about ready to get the hot grits out. But as opposed to get the hot grits out, you may like, baby, first, after you go into the bedroom and you put the knife down, and then you come back and it's like, well, sweetie, I'm pretty sure that television looks very nice, but on the other hand, I know that we were planning on doing this vacation, and we've been looking at our numbers, and baby, I have all faith and confidence and trust that you're going to do the right thing, but baby, either we got to figure out how we're going to not extend ourselves by spending money on this when we know we have a vacation plan, and or baby, I trust you. If you think that's the best thing to do, then I'm behind.
Okay, that's not a problem.
And I said that because
you're now putting them on the spot to take the TV back.
Yes.
So that's what you're down to.
Exactly right.
Okay, so my scenario, you're not taking TV back.
But Jimmy, this is the difference.
See, he didn't have
But
to take the TV
as
back.
opposed to you telling him that he made a bad decision, you're empowering him to make the right
No, you're telling him, I expect you in the future to make better decisions. And I'm going to be the QA to check you on it. I'm going to rub you. I'm going to give you some loving right there to let you know there's still good between us. But I expect you to make better decisions in the future because my life and the kids' life, our whole family is dependent on you.
Are we
making
still on that
decisions.
vacation?
We may
Thank
not.
you. But that's my point.
You know, but we may not go this year
But you've already
because he wants a natural. He wants a nature CD DVD.
But you've already told the baby.
It's like being in Hawaii without being there.
You've already told your wife, your woman, that you're going on vacation, then you come home with a big screen TV, no vacation exit. You talking about next year?
What I'm saying, Tom, if he takes that TV back and y'all go on vacation, he's not gonna be happy. She's not gonna be happy with him not being happy on vacation. And this is gonna be a seed
But let me tell you something.
that's gonna grow up into a big tree of badness
But I
for
tell
a
you
very
what,
long
I'm
time.
gonna be honest with you. It's better that she be happy and you're not happy in the long term than the
I agree with you.
See, we're not talking about better.
And we're talking about how to get there. And how to get there is by taking bonehead bad decisions and not making them into such a big negative. So you can let them know that, hey, okay, honey, the TV is here now. Okay, so we're stuck with the TV. That's fine. And even though it's not fine, you can say it's here.
But they got a 48-hour return policy.
They do.
This is true.
But the TV is still here. And you make the decision. But you need, I expect you to make a decision on what's best for all of us, not what's best for you, for what you like. And so because you made a decision, the family has to stand by your decision. There's not going to be a coup here. We're not going to overthrow you. We're not going to beat you over the head and make you take the TV back. That would be the wrong thing to do. That if you take the TV back, then that's an overthrow of his authority now.
I wouldn't say may, suggest. And not even suggest directly.
I wouldn't even hit it, Tom.
No, you suggest indirectly by reinforcing your confidence in his leadership based upon his priorities.
If he wants to take the TV back, let him take it back.
Exactly.
But if he doesn't,
and what I'm suggesting is the way that you communicated that you empower him to do that which.
but I wouldn't suggest it though. So the way you did it was that you did.
No,
You're like, okay,
No.
You,
What I said-
you can make the right decision to take it back if you want to.
I never said that. I didn't say that.
So
Or he could come up with some more income in the next 3 months.
That's true.
Maybe
Part-time
couple grand
job.
from
You can get a second job.
Yeah.
You get a second job. Ladies, we have a few more minutes. Let's go ahead and make
Okay.
sure that we finish this off.
yes, I'm sorry, we got sidetracked.
Yes, we did.
Just a-
This is about the ladies.
Spiritual foundation, you had talked about that.
I think earlier I was saying, I need to meet a gentleman when I'm speaking to him early on. I need to understand that he understands that, as I was saying earlier, the alarm clock didn't wake you up.
All right.
God is always in our lives, and if a man doesn't understand this, we're not going to get along long term. Now, if he says, "Well, I believe in Buddhist, whatever," or I'm a fundamentalist, I'll be open-minded for the moment. Hey, I'm at a bar. I'm not going to tell you who to believe and what to believe. But for you actually going out with me long term, I'm going to need to know that you have a more foundational trust in God. And to be honest with you, and I understand, I think earlier what you were saying. Especially within the black females, we trust in the pastor versus trusting in our man.
Uh-oh.
And you go through those things or whatever. So, and I'm not going that deep at this point. When I first meet a guy, I just need to know that, hey, if you ask what church I go to, what church do you go to Bible study, it tells me, hey, I not only go to church, but I actually want to understand what I'm reading, and I'd like us both to understand it.
Right.
So if I'm understanding you correctly, in terms of having a strong spiritual foundation, what that means is that he needs to understand the Bible.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, there's some understanding of it.
No, and I don't mean, yes, he's right. I don't mean that you need
So
to
you
turn
can verify.
theology. I don't
No,
know.
not really, but from my opinion, I think, if I'm hearing you correctly, you want to be engaged in the process.
Yes.
That pastor's not ultimately responsible for the spiritual salvation. If y'all decide to become a union, he still has
Responsibility.
spiritual responsibility for the family. And it may be you guys are a different religion, but like you said, it's the core, the fundamentals, of goodness and, being a good person, being decent toward other people. I mean, those kind of things that you can get almost from any religion.
Yes.
What about Andrea?
I'm more into religion being a part of a moral code, or all religions have a moral
They do.
code. The Ten Commandments is seen in 3 different religions. So that's the reason that I want a spiritual foundation, is the moral code. And believing in doing right, doing to others as you have been doing to you, and maybe drugs and alcohol, or, you know, not drinking as much, that kind of thing.
What if you're Catholic?
Well, I haven't, but I'm saying that,
And
you
are you
know,
dragging him to church, or he's dragging you to church? Or y'all just both going together?
I thought we should go together. We should go together.
I don't really think so. It doesn't matter to me if we go together separate. If you in turn have someone that leads you and is leading you to be the best person you can be, and me, I feel like John over here leads me, especially if we're not married and we're not going there.
And
I've
folks,
never
by the way,
had-
the Catholic comment, when you take the Holy Communion, they do have wine and several.
Yes.
No, I'm talking about drinking every day. People,
I think she's talking about.
I'm talking about
Wine,
people.
yeah.
I'm talking about people having to drink every day or being
Everything
a part of their
in moderation
routine
is what
every
she
day. But I've never had the experience of a black man going to church with me, so that's something I'm looking for.
Never?
No, never. I mean,
Even
I'm
when
saying,
you were
no,
Okay.
no, never on a consistent basis.
Yeah,
So
well,
you
that's
met,
what I'm
but not on a
saying.
A lot of
Yeah.
churches talking
So-
to women though, man. You
Yeah,
go there,
so, yes. So that's why I'm looking forward to that,
Okay.
to having that family church experience.
Okay, guys, well, you heard it from the ladies here that going to church and having a spiritual foundation, religious foundation is important,
In addition to security.
in addition to security. So so get your finances together, remember make very good decisions, which really generally good decisions will lead to a fairly decent positive credit score.
And-
But they kind of go hand in hand.
Don't forget the experience.
And experience, that's right. You know, make
Give them
sure,
experience.
give the person that you're